Daniel receives a voice message from Diane, asking him to stop calling and texting her. She reminds him that what happened was 20 years ago and that he still hasn't moved on. She says he's broken and that she can't stay married to him anymore. Alone in a hotel room and visibly angry, Daniel eventually falls asleep, only to be visited by his friend, Patrick. Daniel is overjoyed to see Patrick, especially when he learns it's his birthday and Patrick has brought him concert tickets for Rage Against the Machine. He's stunned by how cheap the tickets are, until he notices the date and realizes they already went to that concert years ago. In that moment, Patrick's face begins to distort, shifting the reunion into something far more unsettling. Daniel wakes up, realizing it was all just a dream. He checks his phone, hoping for a message from Diane, but finds nothing. Scrolling through old photos of him and Patrick, he closes his eyes and softly asks if Patrick can hear him, asking if he wants to hang out tonight. With his voice cracking, Daniel admits he's having a really hard time and needs him right now. He opens his eyes. And nothing happens. Daniel tries to go back to sleep but is startled by a noise coming from the bathroom. When he goes to check, he finds Patrick casually bathing in the tub. Surprised but relieved, Daniel tells him to get dressed and come out because he needs to talk to him about something important. Daniel heads outside and waits at the table, but Patrick doesn't show up. Growing anxious, he rushes back to the bathroom, only to find Patrick quietly getting dressed. Daniel tells Patrick to sit down, then quietly says that Diane knows about everything. He adds that he was about to break up with Brenda. Confused, Patrick says he doesn't even know who Brenda is. Daniel explains that Brenda is his boss, the one who got him the job even though she knew he never graduated from college. Daniel admits that he and Brenda got close and eventually slept together. He explains that things between him and Diane had already been rough, especially after the birth of their first son, Patrick. Patrick chuckles, surprised and amused that Daniel named his first child after him. Daniel goes on to say that Diane had actually found out 2 weeks before she confronted him. She had seen him and Brenda together at a Baskin-Robbins. Daniel says that now Diane won't talk to him, won't respond to his texts, and he has no idea what to do. Patrick admits he doesn't know how to help. He's never been married, never dealt with anything like this, and he's only 21 years old. Daniel, frustrated, reminds him that he used to fool around behind his girlfriend's back all the time and still somehow managed to win her back. Daniel adds that Patrick is in a certain position right now to know things, hinting at something beyond the ordinary. Patrick, taken aback, tells Daniel that what he really needs is to talk to a therapist, and maybe even his own dad. He tells Daniel that just because he's gone doesn't mean he can see everything happening in Daniel's life. Daniel quietly apologizes to Patrick. Daniel asks Patrick what he does all day. Patrick replies that it's one of those things Daniel thinks he wants to know, but deep down, he really doesn't. Daniel insists, he genuinely wants to know. Patrick finally tells him that he swims, like his life depends on it. Then he looks at Daniel and asks, if Daniel had been with him that day, would he be gone too, or would he have saved him? Patrick says, he thinks Daniel tells everyone he wouldn't have made it either, just to escape the guilt of watching his best friend drown only 30 yards away. He believes Daniel could have saved him, insisting the current wasn't even that strong. Daniel tries to defend himself, saying he never thought Patrick wouldn't make it. He thought the current would just carry him sideways. Patrick tells him that he was supposed to stop him from going into the water, just like Patrick always stopped Daniel from driving when he was too drunk. He says friends are supposed to look out for each other. Daniel responds, saying that's not fair. Patrick replies that nothing about this is fair. He's gone, and now he's stuck being dragged around with Daniel wherever he goes. Patrick tells Daniel that all of this is his fault, that he never truly took responsibility and never apologized. Emotions boil over, and the two get into a physical fight. Daniel punches Patrick, and Patrick suddenly shatters. In a panic, Daniel searches the room, calling out for him, but Patrick is nowhere to be found. That night, while Daniel sleeps, Patrick appears once more, this time aged and worn. He tells Daniel this will be the last time he sees him, because they can't be friends anymore. Patrick says he spent the last 21 years watching Daniel stand frozen on a beach in Florida, unmoving while his family calls out to him. Daniel never answers. He just stands there. Daniel quietly tells Patrick that he's been standing there all these years, because he's been waiting for him to come back. Patrick gently replies that he needs to go home, because he's not coming back. With tears in his eyes, Daniel finally apologizes, saying he misses him and wishes he could have saved him. He tells Patrick he wishes he had been there with him. Patrick hugs him and softly says, "This wasn't your fault." Patrick tells Daniel that it's time to go home, then quietly walks away. Daniel steps over to the window, gazes outside, and takes a deep breath. He picks up his phone and texts Diane, admitting that she's right, He is broken, but he doesn't want to be. He apologizes and asks if she can please talk to him. The episode ends with Daniel standing at the window, a quiet sense of peace washing over him, finally forgiving himself for not being able to save Patrick. Like and subscribe the channel for more videos like these.